Hey guys, this is Adam with ND72. So, we decided to fix the E55, so this video is going to be a little bit lengthy. It's going to try to show you everything that I did to get this car almost already road ready. It's going to be pretty of a long video. I'm going to show you a lot of cool stuff with the stars, so make sure you stay all the way to the end so you can see how I program some of my stuff out, and enjoy, guys. Hey guys, welcome to ND72 YouTube channel, and this is my CLK55. Alright guys, welcome to the channel. It's Adam ND72. Today is going to be the first day of us hitting up the E55. So we're going to be doing the suspension stuff. That way we get the car safe and drivable before we start doing the fenders and all the other cosmetic stuff. That way I can drive around the block, make sure nothing else is crazy broken. So we're going to dig into it and hopefully nothing else breaks. I'm going to show you some of the parts we got. So I ordered this roughly a year ago. There probably is like maybe now a newer or better setup or whatever, but this is the BC coilover setup that's meant for the E55. And then also I got, these are just some miscellaneous broken stuff that I saw that was broken for the suspension. But then I did get, hopefully they're the right one. These are supposed to be the coil, lower control arms for the rear. So hopefully I ordered the right one. If I didn't, I got to F and reorder new ones. But I got those used off eBay. And then I have another set over here, which is for the right. I mean, they're supposed to be, you know, W11 rear. So I haven't even opened these yet. Hopefully it's right. So this is the right side. It came from E320 CDI, so I'm hoping it's the same. But this guy sent a couple miscellaneous other arms and stuff like that. I don't think I'll need them. But this was the side that was drooping. It had the broken bag. So I just got it because it was basically free, all the other little stuff. And then if I need it, I need it. If I don't, I'll throw it up in my little attic with tons of parts. Or if someone needs these, if I don't need them, I'll punt them really effing cheap. You know what I mean? We'll see how that goes. But let's start opening up the BC coilover box and see what you get. So I've done a lot of coilover kits on cars. So this shouldn't be too bad. BC's usually pretty good. Let's see what we got in here though. Comes with BC little stickers, all that stuff. So I'm going to try to keep it kind of in the box. We'll pull each side out. So this should be the front. Oh, cool. The popcorn's even already individual. This is straight up coilover. You're supposed to be able to adjust it from up there for the, should be rebound. I'll have to double check on that, but looks effing complete. Pretty nice. And then now for the rear is going to be the same style. It's going to be a spring on perch style. So here's a spring that has a nice little perch in there. We'll open that up. There's a nice little spring and perch. That should be the two sides and styles that they are. And then for the rear, you also got a shock with hopefully, yeah, you can adjust it from right up there. You're going to put a little tube in there. And then that's the shock body height. What else do you get in here? You get a couple little, your little adjuster spanners. And it looks about it. So let's start knocking it out. Oh, one cool thing. The actual little wrenches actually say BC on them. I don't know if you can see that. Pretty nifty. So to start, just to get myself more room for this, I don't know if you have to do it, but I've always done it. And I have to replace them anyways. So you just remove the upper control arm, and how you do it is, it's this bolt right here, which is a 17. Just undo it, and then either you could whack right here. My ball joints were a little bit effed up a little bit, and they're cheap, like $15. So I didn't care if I damaged them, so I literally just took this little tool, and I just put it in there, bang, 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 hit it, and I did damage them a little bit. But I got more that'll be here like within the hours. They're like 20 bucks each. And when I need to replace them, it's just three little things right here. Bam, Torx, and that comes right out. So I removed this out of the way. Just be cautious of like your lines. Make sure nothing is too tight. Everything, as you can see, is pretty pretty effing loose for me. And then it's going to be this bolt right here. And then I'm going to pop the hood and knock out the bolts right here to start taking this out. Oh, and before I forget, for safety, I don't know if you actually have to do this, but for safety-wise, we were always showed and taught to drop the air out of suspension. So you do that with the Star. Just go into suspension and there'll be a bleed procedure. So mine were already blown apart. So this one really shouldn't have any air, because if you remember, this one was dropped to the ground. So that should be pretty much okay. If not, then oh well, I get hurt. So up here you got a few lines, and this is one of the air lines. You'll know if you got air, and it'll blow right out real quick. And then these, I want to say they're like a 13. Let me just double check. And you're going to take these out, and then the bottom one, and just go slow with it. So since I'm not reusing these, I just snip the line. And in case everything does F up, I can just re-clean that up. But yeah, for these, I'm going to try to show you. I started breaking them loose, but as you can see, when you get to the last 13, you see it lowering? So what I'm going to do for safety is bring it like there, and then I left these nuts on a little bit loose so this thing doesn't crash down on my head. Now we're going to go underneath. So I put the bungee cord just for safety. You really should have probably like a jack under here when you do this bottom bolt so it doesn't really drop. But I'm probably going to lower it and do that. But this bolt is just a 21. You know, you have one on the socket and a wrench, and it'll come out. And then this should just drop right down after I knock it a little bit. So we got the old one out. It's pretty easy, a little bit of wiggling. But that's the old, and that's the new one going in. Oh, another thing. So this plug, don't forget to remove this plug. It is sitting, this is the passenger side, it's sitting like right directly there. So just follow the cord, the plug is like right there. Also, I want to show you what a lot of other people don't really show you. The other benefit of going coilovers is you drop quite a bit of weight too. So let's see what this is. So me with the old one, can you see that? Let me try to get like steady. 186. Now with me, the new one, like a noticeable difference lighter in my hand, we are 178. So even though it's not a huge difference in weight, you got to remember each side. So right there, you're dropping, that's weight off the nose, off the rear, free little bit extra. So we're gonna start throwing the new one in and getting at it. So we got everything back on. So I left this loose because I am changing the ball joint, but I just wanted to check a couple things out. So the bottom's bolt right here, also it's loose because you're not supposed to tighten these up until you put all the weight of the suspension on it. So until I fully drop it down, or even just put a jack over it and putting pressure, I'm going to tighten that one up after. But I tightened these up. Oh, and these only could go one way, so it's pretty easy to figure it out. These are a 12, not a 13. Also, what you're going to have to do, at least I did, maybe your kit will be a little bit different, but so I had to take it over to the vise, and put that down. I just had to twist this a little bit, so I just broke this nut loose with a wrench, and then just twisted a little bit to line up. But that really shouldn't mess with anything. The one thing they say don't touch is don't touch the spring rate of it, because BC has it all set up. So to lower it, basically you're just moving that into the body of the shock. But I'm leaving everything how they sent it, and see how I like the ride height. That way if I need to go back and forth. But now we're going to start hopping over to the other side, which is going to be the same thing. So I'm just going to blow right through this and keep going. So I just have a different shirt, had a shower, it's pretty effing hot out in Florida. So if you remember, the driver's side is the one side I hit. So here's the control arm for it. As you see, it kind of like ripped up through it. It went all the way up to, if you can see here, I ripped it all the way up there. And then now here's the bolt that came out of it. That's the bolt. I don't know if you can tell how crooked it is, but yeah, so I need a new one of those. Pretty effed up. Pretty effed up. So I might call Mercedes, see if they got one of these for cheap, or I just have to go to a hardware store and just get something similar that's this strength and this length, but a little unfortunate. Also, here's more damage on the driver's side I didn't see, so it pushed it all the way back. So I'm going to probably have to cut that off and shave that part off over there. Now for the subframe doesn't really look bent or that bad. It has a little bit of a nub right here where that bolt kind of slides in and out. So I'm going to probably have to straighten that up. Hopefully that'll still be good. And then one other thing I didn't see, which is really depressing. So it's damaged right here. So I'm hoping that I could gut all this and it's not going to matter too much of how the fender and everything hangs. But it's not looking good, but we'll try to make it work. Another thing you're doing to the front, is the ball joints right here. They go bad pretty easily, and mine are bad unluckily. So this control arm is pretty easy to do. It's just these three. These are T45s. You bust these out, and this ball joint should come right out. And then I got some replacement ones right here that I got. Hopefully they last. Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to the back. And as you see, I already did the passenger side. So you can see the shock and the new spring in there. And everything, and you reuse all those bolts. So the main thing that this one takes so long is you're converting from, where's the other word? Right here. You're pulling off this style of lower control arm and adding this style. So normally the shock and everything would sit in here. Now the spring will fit right into there. And one thing to note, when you do put the spring on, you see this little stopper? You gotta spin it till it hits there. What you're gonna be taking off, big help. Let me get this stuff out of the way. Yeah. One thing that's a big help is undo the exhaust from right here, because you're gonna need to wiggle it a little bit to be able to get to this bolt right here, which is a triple square. It's going to be a triple square 12. And also what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to remove this this part of the suspension right here. So just undo the bolt from right here, and then just swing it up. And the bolts that you're going to be removing to get this control arm and everything out are going to be, you can remove all the stuff for the airbags and the shock. You're removing this nut right here that connects it, and then there's an Allen on the other side over there. So you're going to take those off, take all this stuff off so it makes it easier for you to actually drop it. And then this triple square, and then this whole thing will come right out. It's not that bad. I'll knock it out and show you a little. Sorry if you hear the fan. So yeah, once you take this bolt out, this arm will shoot up, and that's an E10 with an 18 on the other end. And the bolt's just like that. Boom. And then now you can see like all that room you got to get to this triple square right here. Before, this arm was like that and you couldn't get it. So now I'm going to keep going. So this is the point I'm at now. I got my little, you can use a floor jack, but I got my little holder right here. So I took this bolt out with the Torx. You will need to be able to wiggle this exhaust a little bit just to get the bolt to clear, because it comes out this way. And now I'm doing this bolt in here, which kind of sucks a little bit. It's literally, you only going to do a 21 wrench. And then you got to get your Allen on that side of it that goes right in there. And this is a, let me get this out before we go too far. It's a 12. And then also what you got to remember with this bolt, so it won't come out all the way, at least my other side didn't, and it hits the brake line, which that's fine, it'll clear into there, and you kind of have to just use hand tools unless you got something small enough to get in there. But yeah, just ratchet it away and get it out. Just be safe. If you did not deflate the airbag, then it's going to be a little bit dangerous. I mean, you could do it, but it'll just be a little dangerous. So just to show you what, these are the two ones that came out. This is still fully inflated. I kind of wanted to show you that if you don't take the air out, you can still get it out. It takes a little bit of, once you unloose everything, just bang it and just be very safe. You can see the huge difference once it's deflated and uninflated. Or, yeah, you know what I mean. Inflated, uninflated. So this is the one that actually kind of failed and broke off. You could actually see right there. So that might have helped cause when I spun. It just was bad luck that one hit. And then cracked it in there, and then I went all over the place. But this is like how it's supposed to look. Now, you could see how I cut this line. You could just take, I think it's like an 8 mil or something with a slit in it, kind of like with a wrench you would use for O2 sensors, and take it off. But I know I'm never going back to the air ride setup, just because this was probably a good reason why I got into the accident. But I got that side all off over there. The arm to come out does take a little bit of banging. It kind of gets stuck, but not really stuck. It's just a tight fit right here. And then the shock, I have to go up in the trunk, and I got to take that off, and it's a 16 to get that off. So after you pull the carpet away, it's going to be basically this carpet piece right here. You pull it away a little bit, and then you'll see, let me get that light back there, that bolt right there, right in the center of the screen. It's going to be a 16, so let's get a 16 ratcheting wrench and hold the top of the shock. It'll come right out. So here's the old style and the new style for the rear. So there's the shocks. This is our new adjustable shock. You know what I mean? A lot nicer. I mean, for me, a lot safer. And then also, so with the new perch, one thing you do have to remember, so how it goes on is This side goes on the bottom, and then if you could see, right here is a stop. So make sure you don't just throw it in there, spin it, and you'll feel it stop. And that's how it's supposed to sit in the car. Not perfectly straight, just like that. And then you'll put this piece, goes right up on the top. And to adjust the height, I'm not touching. I left everything on BC Coilover spec, like how they shipped it. You move this ring. So if you want to go lower, basically you would make it go smaller, higher, higher. It's pretty effing self-explanatory. Not bad. Even there's a sticker that actually tells you this goes on top. Very sure it says height adjuster mounted. No, it won't even focus. POS camera. Right there. So I'm going to start putting it in. One thing I do recommend, put some grease over here. Because to slide in this bushing to the arm, it's a little bit complicated. Well, not complicated. It's a little bit like finagling. So you put a little grease on there, it goes in 100% better. So now we're going to throw it in the car. And hopefully get this done soon. So when you're putting the control arm, so I got like grease in there. I do this side first. You make sure you got it at the right angle. And then I just give it a little bit of, normally I'm doing this with 2 effing hands. But I'll give it a little bit of tap right here. I wouldn't really tap it here because you don't want to bend the ears and that's where it mounts to. So just tap it in and then you could see straight through that hole where you're going to line up. And remember I told you that bolt don't come out all the way? It'll stop there, but it clears plenty enough. Alright. So once you got that bolt through, then it's pretty, just keep going. Everything else should basically line up with a little bit of tappity tap tap. And just do everything in the reverse, pretty easy. Alright, so we got all the bolts in. I leave this one loose until I tighten everything up so it doesn't block that bolt right there. So I got everything in. Just do a good like shakedown test with the springs. And you could also even like, let me see if I get up there. Get this light. So you could actually see if you're not sure if you got that perch right. Maybe the camera won't show it, but you could see if you did it wrong. Also, make sure this is lined up and all that stuff. I put the nut already in there for the top. So now we're going to do with any suspension parts that you always want it to have load on it before you tighten it. So if you have the ability to like put it on the ground or put it on some wood, just that way it has the full load of it. So you're not messing with any of the, if you don't do it, usually your bushing and stuff will wear out quick because it'll be a little bit tweaked. So I'm going to just literally get one of my jacks and put pressure and start tightening everything up. Alright, so I'm crouching down a little bit. So the car's still in the air. It's like probably 1.5 feet off the ground. I haven't seen what it looks like. Everything's tightened up. I put weight on it. Well, not weight on it, but you know what I mean? I compressed the suspension, tightened everything up. Everything's done. So this is going to be the exact ride height that came from BC. I didn't touch anything, didn't do any adjustments. This is their ride height on this vehicle. And we're going to see how it looks. I'm going to drop it down, and we'll see. Jolt the suspension, just kind of shake it to let it settle a little bit more. So far, no squeaking. That squeaking was the trim that I was pushing on, so that's a good sign. My hands are filthy. Not bad. I kind of like it. Let's get a closer look. So dang, so if anyone who has one of these, you kind of know what your factory height is. This is, this rear, it's pretty low. Can't even get 2 fingers. This might be a little bit too low for me, but man, you have like, I take that back. I have so much more room up there for the tire to travel. Up front, oh man, I think up front is almost perfect. Granted, this fender's still banked, but like 2 fingers for me, that's like perfect. Now I'm going to show you what like a stock one would look like. Well, it's a CLS. The CLS I got is full ride, like stock. The only difference is it's got 19-inch rims. Don't mind that. Gotta fix that. But this is it, just been sitting here, because this does have a small little leak. So this has been sitting here for like maybe 5 days without driving, but it doesn't really sag that much. But like you can see, that's a 3-finger in the rear. This is factory stock ride height. I think like the high position maybe. So you can see how much it drops. And then when you look at the BC coilovers, the setup they give you is kind of like medium. You still have so much more adjustment. If you wanted to raise it up, you have a lot more. And if you want to drop it to the ground, you could get it pretty effing low. But I don't like my cars too low just because you start hitting stuff on the road, and I ain't that type of guy. I like them to perform the best. So when I hit the gas, I like to be able to slam back a little bit. So being a little bit lower in the rear is good for me as long as there's enough room for the tire to travel. And as long as it's not so low where I can't get on the lift. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, perfect. Like, arms come easily in and out of there. Very, very nice. Not the biggest fan of these rims, but I'm not trying to keep spending more money. But I do need to either buy one more or pick a different rim idea, because if you all remember, I got the donut on this side. Ugh, poor thing. But also, so I did all that suspension work over here. It's not hitting in here anymore, so it pulled it all the way back, which is good. I still got to smooth that little crack out, and I did shake the whole suspension. Yeah, this thing is tight as heck now. The toe might be on and off a little bit on that side, just because I had to do all that. But very, very happy with it. I mean, I haven't driven it, but just the way it looks and how it's settling, very happy. Alright guys, now the last part of installing the coilovers is, if you don't want this message, is to code it out, the air suspension out of the computer. So the message you'll get is, it's like lift something. I'll show you really quick. So see how it's like a little picture of your car and it says visit workshop? Don't mind that. That's just because I was effing around with something else. But that's the one you're going to get. I'm going to show you how to code it out, as long as you got a star computer. Alright, I'm going to try to show you how to get into this to code it out. So you're going to go to information and communication, see it in blue. And then you're going to go to cluster. Should be the top one. Then you're going to go to, hold on, I got to remember to do this. Oh yeah, no, you're going to go to control unit adaptations. And then you're going to, oh yeah, this is where they ask you your year. So you just go up the little pull down thing. I'm pretty sure I'm starter production, because I'm a 03. Click enter, and then you go variant coding, and then, hold on one second. Yeah, sorry about that, I was losing battery, but alright, so then you're going to go to special equipment, which is this one in blue. It's going to load up everything that's programmed into it. Alright, so there you go. Partial air system present. So we're going to change that to hold on, let's see. If equipment with partial air system installed, the coding is present. Alright. Not present. Alright. Not present. So we're gonna go. I did have a brain fart there, bump it off. So yeah, I don't know why I didn't even remember, but you do gotta right to the cluster, so you're gonna click that. And then hit yes. The code is being carried out. Your cluster should kill itself and then come back. Fault code is entered due to test ignition of theirs. All fault codes must be erased before vehicles handed over. Oh, okay. So that's just telling you to now. You probably got like a bootload of codes. Let's pull back to fault codes. Nothing present. Nice. Alright. Let's see if I got it on here now. Don't mind the other stuff because I was messing around with wheels. What do I got? Phones off. Malfunctions. Good. Oh, is that clock moving now? There you go. So that is the last step of doing the BC coilovers, and if you want to make sure it took, just do the same process and see if it says present anymore. And then you should not have that little air on the dash, and you should be good. Just to show the other ones are the ESP and all that stuff's gone. Yeah, no malfunctions, everything's gone. I just had to reset some things because I had the car in the air and I was spinning tires, and the code I was actually getting was I was spinning the rear tires just to check something, and it was wheel speed sensors up front weren't seeing two different numbers, so no biggie. That's all good now. No malfunctions. Boop, 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 boop. Keep going. Alright guys, so that's going to be it of this video of the E55, getting it back on the road from when I crashed it basically a year ago. So in this video, as you saw, we did rear lower control arms, rear springs, rear shocks, front spring shock setup from BC, front driver side torsion arm, and then both of the front control arm ball joints. Very easy, cost effective. Very happy with it. Oh, and I showed you how to delete the little ding on your dash. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. See you later.